she did things just because she fucking wanted to. And it's so beautifully flawed that I just attached myself to Nesta, and I don't think you can change my mind that Feyre is a better character because it's wrong. Hello, how are you today? Thank you for coming back to my channel, because today we have a review, and I think it's a review that you're gonna want to be listening to, because it is a review of A Court of Silver Flames. I did give it 5 stars. We're gonna discuss it. We're gonna unpack it. The last time I tried to do a Sarah J Maas review, it was for Crescent City, and I deleted it because I couldn't form coherent thoughts enough to get them out of my mouth. So hopefully today we'll have some progress with this because I've just finished it yesterday. Pray for me. Okay, so yeah, the non-spoilery part of this, so obviously if you've read A Court of Thorns and Roses, if you haven't read any of like Sarah J Maas's other like first part of this series, this is going to be filled with spoilers. If you like the spoilers, absolutely, then listen along. But if you don't, go and read the series first because amazing. So end of Court of Wings and Ruin. Nesta is this promiscuous lady that's just drinking and sleeping with everyone that has a heartbeat. And yeah, so they're like, yep, intervention time, let's do it. So that's kind of like the whole objective of this whole book, is like getting Nesta back on the straight and narrow. Other things come up throughout as well that they have to solve, and Nesta is of course one of the pivotal characters in these dilemmas. Yeah, I'm unsure how else to, and of course there's the growing bond between Nesta and Cassian that we saw in the end of the other books. I'm trying to like figure out what isn't spoilery and what is spoilery, because we also know from Kingdom of Ash that Feyre is pregnant. We already know that. We know that. That's fine. Also, I think Frost and Starlight, there was also something about that. But anyway, look, we get a little bit of a look at the whole gang. We don't see a lot of Moore. We don't see a lot of Amryn. We see a little bit of Amryn. We don't see a lot of Elaine, but you know. Yeah, so look, that's about as much of the non-spoilery that I can do without going crazy, because I'm just gonna have to unpack all of my emotions about this book. Yeah, so if you don't want spoilers, please go. If you do, strap in. So can we just address the elephant in the room in this book? Because I'm feeling two ways about it. All the sex. All of the sex. Also, family members, leave. Please. There is so much sex in this book. One part of me is like, you don't really need that much. But then the other side of me is like, yes. All of this is yes. I'm torn. I am torn. Look, it got to the point where it was almost like I felt like I was watching Riverdale, and just like every time something horrible happens, it's like, okay, sex. Oh, okay, you hate hearing fires because it's your father's neck snapping? Sex. However, even if I feel horribly about just how much there is, it is a very refined smut. I will give that, because we've all read the trashy romances. We've all read the the descriptive words that some authors like to put in for us that are just out of it. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I do mention this in my Touch of Darkness review. I'll put the link somewhere. This did not have any of those moments. It was all, it was as refined as smut can get. This got it. This got the refined smut, and it was brilliant. Was there a lot of it? Yeah, you bet. There was arguably too much smut. However, it was a refined smut that we devoured. Bless you, Sarah J Maas. Honestly. Okay, yeah, so we've brushed on that. Wonderful. Okay, another thing I want to talk about is also some of the predictions that I had in the beginning of the book that didn't come to fruition, which was a little disappointing. First being the house. So when Nesta is in the house, she is, she's, you know, the house brings them food. She speaks to it. It listens to her. Yada, yada, yada. I was expecting it to be someone else. So I was expecting it to be Elaine that was sending. I really wanted it to be Elaine. I really wanted that little bit of an extra depth to Elaine's character in this book. I really wanted it to be Elaine sending her big sister all of these smutty novels and sending her all of her favorite little treats and everything, because Elaine was not in this book, like, almost at all. And so I really wanted that in it. That was like my one thing. I was like, is this Elaine? Like, that'd be really cool. Like, I really hope it is. It was not. I then hoped it was Amren. I was like, either Amren or Elaine. Amren's still like looking over Nesta. I mean, did she have to? No. Did Nesta deserve her to be? No. But we'll get to that. So when I found out that Nesta had sort of created the sentience that was the house, I was like, okay, that was very Sarah J Maas of you to just make this character like creating whole sentient beings without their knowledge of it, just being super overpowered that they don't even know it. Very Sarah J Maas. But anyway, you know, it's a stereotypical Sarah J Maas thing. That's how I feel about it. So we had the sentient house that was neither Elaine nor Amren. And then what else did we have? Oh, yes. I would also like to hear more of Eris. I know, gross, Autumn Court douchebag. Understand, left more when she needed him. I understand. However, the one point that made me very interested in this character is the fact that when he was dancing with Nesta, he, from when you're in Nesta's perspective, she says that Eris realizes when she wants to do her own spins, and he's like admiring her. He's not being an egotistical douchebag in that scene, possibly in that scene alone, but it's still very interesting. And I would like some more Eris, please. I would like to see that. What else we got? Oh, yes. So we go after the mask. Was it predictable? Yes, that the mask came to her. Yes, obviously. Did we love it? Of course we did. We ate that shit up. Amazing. So I had forgotten about the whole Feyre and Rhys promising to die at the same time thing. That was very interesting. I totally forgot about it. But it did add that extra, like, yeah, amazing. Okay, cool. And while I didn't want any of them to die, and I didn't want a stillbirth, I wanted that little Illyrian baby. Beautiful. But it was like Wings and Ruin again. It was, oh yes, I know they're all gonna die. And then, oh no, look, they were all saved. Right at the last possible moment. Again, very Sarah J Maas of you. Just to hold that devastating death over our heads and then to not, you know. I also actually, another prediction that didn't come to fruition that I'm kind of glad didn't come to fruition that could possibly happen later in the books. With Emery, Gwyn, and Nesta. As soon as they made, it was, I was on page 618 and I sent a message to one of my friends and said, I am scared. Because they were making the friendship bracelets and I'm like, this is when everything goes wrong. When they start to make those bonds and they made the bracelets and I was like, they're gonna die. Either one of them or all of them. And it's gonna be devastating. They did not. They did not. Also, I would also like to say that in the Blood Rite, when they'd gotten to the top of the mountain, I get it. They knocked Gwyn out and Emery had to carry her up. I understand that was hard, whatever. But as soon as they got to the top, they just... Excuse me, you had until dawn. I understand that Nesta was going to be fighting old mate, and if he got past, then you had to, like, scoot. But it would have taken him some time to get to you even after the fact. So, like, just hold on. Just for 1 second. Hold on for Nesta. Nesta's looking after you, man. Just wait. Wait a second. When they said that there was a flash of light, like literally as soon as they got to the top, I was like, Emery, wait for your gal. I mean, obviously that was never going to happen because then Cassian and Brie Allen showed up, and obviously it was never going to happen because the rules got all messed up. I get it, but wait a little. Just wow. And like I'm also like not so upset about it because it's like Emery and Gwyn now have done the whole thing and they've won the game, and Nesta is, you know, the High Lady's sister and had part of the cauldron in her and is so very overpowered that it's ridiculous. I get it that she already has her own shit going on, but that would have been nice if all three of them, the first three Valkyries, come on, first three Valkyries again, the reborn Valkyries. Yeah. Yeah, look, it was brilliant. The all of these like negatives that I'm coming up with, they're not actually bad things. They're not actually bad story things. They're just like the characters have upset me. And when I'm only talking about how the characters themselves have upset me, then I know that it's brilliant. I know that the story was that 5-star rate that we love. Okay, yes. Also, I keep trying to think of like the things that was going on in my brain. One thing, and this could be a controversial thought, well, just deal with it, because Nesta is 100% a better character than Feyre. Change my mind about it. Because, look, I know that Feyre has gone through some shit, obviously. Obviously, we've all read Court of Thorns and Roses, Court of Mist and Fury. She's gone through some shit. However, I don't believe that when Feyre had gone through her shit, she didn't act selfishly about it. She was always like, oh no, I still have to do this for everyone else. I still have to make sure that my sisters are all good. Meh, 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 meh. That's good. That's good. It makes her a good character. Nesta, however, was beautifully human. Even after she was turned high fae. She was so selfish and so self-absorbed that she would just prefer to drown herself in her sorrows, and she didn't give a damn. She didn't give a damn that she was hurting Cassian, because that's what people do. They are so flawed, and I love that she was like it. Feyre is all good, like is like a pure good person, right? Whereas Nesta, and it also reflects in the whole house was Nesta, that Nesta is basically evil. Nesta is evil, but she's like one of those people that's like, okay, yeah, I really want to kill people. You can't stop me from doing that, but maybe I will just like kill bad guys. Like, that's fine, but I definitely need violence. Violence is my vibe. And I like that because we don't really have any, Amryn is a good example of that, is that she is just super dark and evil, but has good morals. Let's say that. Has good morals. Yes, but I really enjoyed that, and that it had gotten to the point where she can apologize for it in hindsight, but the initial reaction was that she did things just because she fucking wanted to. And it so beautifully flawed that I just attached myself to Nesta, and I don't think you can change my mind that Feyre is a better character, because it's wrong. You're wrong. Sorry. I think that's everything. I'm probably gonna start editing this and be like, oh, that's what I wanted to say about it. But please comment on it and tell me what else you thought about it, because I know it's gonna bring everything back, and maybe I'll do a part 2. I probably won't, because I won't have this much to talk about it. But please tell me everything that you thought, because I need to work this information out of my brain. Thank you so much. Okay, so thank you for listening to this. I definitely did have to pause this quite a lot of times, and I'm gonna have to edit the shit out of it. But that's fine. That's fine. We got it out, and we're going to be able to post this one. Unlike the Crescent City review that I did not post because that was trash. It was horrible. Not the book, my review. I couldn't get it out of me. Anyway, all right. Well, thank you for lasting through all this rambling, and I'll see you in my next video. Okay, thank you. Bye.